What started off as a regular public appearance quickly turned into an unforgettable disaster. The energy was electric, bright lights flashing, cameras locked in, and the crowd buzzing with excitement. But then, without warning, Blueface exploded, right there in front of everyone. He lost control. His eyes locked on Chrisean, and with no hesitation, he snapped, "You are the problem. You have always been the problem." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Spectators froze. Phones immediately rose into the air, recording every second. Security began to move in, sensing the shift. Chrisean broke down on the spot, screaming, sobbing, hurling her purse in frustration. Amidst the chaos, one video clip surfaced, something so raw that it is now spreading like wildfire across social media. Witnesses claim it was more intense than anything ever shown on Zeus. And according to insiders and online commentators, this meltdown could mark the point of no return for their relationship. Chrisean is now threatening to expose everything with receipts she claims will finally ruin Blueface, once and for all, setting the stage for an even more explosive chapter in their troubled saga. But to truly understand how things reached this shattering breaking point, one must rewind and look beneath the surface, beyond the headlines and viral clips. This latest outburst was not a spontaneous eruption born of a single fight. Instead, it was the devastating climax of months, maybe even years of silent tension, emotional manipulation, and carefully laid landmines in a relationship already stretched to its limits. Blueface, with all his bravado and street-smart instincts, has always known exactly which buttons to push to provoke a reaction from Chrisean, and when he did, the entire drama exploded in the public eye, turning their personal battles into social media spectacles. Their story has never been a simple romance, but more like a storm slowly gathering strength and rage. For a long time, fans have witnessed their relationship unravel in agonizing real time, like watching a slow-motion train wreck you cannot look away from. From violent fistfights that led to emergency room visits to on-again, off-again pregnancy announcements, riddled with doubt and drama, the highs and lows have been relentless. Their saga reads less like a love story and more like a courtroom drama, full of accusations, betrayals, and legal threats rather than tender moments of intimacy. The late-night Instagram lives and constant social media outbursts have only poured gasoline on an already raging fire, transforming what should have been private struggles into a very public spectacle. Instead of resolving their issues behind closed doors, Chrisean and Blueface have repeatedly aired their grievances online, turning social media platforms into battlegrounds where every quarrel, insult, and tear is broadcast live for millions to witness. These raw, unfiltered moments have drawn in viewers who eagerly watch as the couple's relationship deteriorates in real time. Each new revelation or argument seems to widen the rift between them, with both parties lobbing harsh accusations and bitter barbs that cut deep. Fans, caught in the middle, find themselves torn. Some sympathize with Chrisean's pain and resilience, while others question her motives or remain skeptical of the drama. The relationship has devolved into a chaotic spectacle where emotional vulnerability, which ideally fosters connection and understanding, has instead become a weapon wielded to hurt and control. Trust, once the foundation of any bond, has been repeatedly shattered, making reconciliation seem more distant by the day. Now, the situation is reaching a dangerous tipping point. Chrisean has threatened to release evidence, documents, messages, or recordings that she claims will irreversibly damage Blueface's reputation and derail his career. This promise of exposing the truth has raised the stakes dramatically, signaling a shift from emotional clashes to a potentially fallout. The tension that simmered quietly in private has now boiled over into an all-out war of words and secrets, each side preparing to fight not just for their own dignity but for the narrative that will define their futures. Whatever fragile connection remained between them seems on the verge of complete collapse as this conflict intensifies. As this turbulent chapter unfolds, it becomes clear that their saga is far from over. The public will likely continue to watch every twist and turn, every revelation and response, as the fallout reshapes their lives forever. What started as a relationship filled with hope and passion has transformed into a dramatic saga of betrayal, heartbreak, and fierce battles, leaving scars that will take much longer to heal than the latest viral moment. What many people missed amidst the viral clips and dramatic headlines was the deeper, painful pattern playing out behind the scenes, cycle that hurt more than it entertained. At the heart of the chaos was Chrisean, who repeatedly reached out, hoping for something real and lasting, while Blueface seemed to use her pain as a source of drama for public consumption. It was as if her heartbreak became his stage, and the public their unwilling audience. This toxic rhythm kept repeating itself, with moments of tenderness quickly overshadowed by betrayal and conflict, leaving fans confused about where the line between love and spectacle even existed. Things began to escalate again just 2 weeks before the explosive public meltdown that set social media on fire. Blueface ignited controversy with a pointed message on his Instagram story, writing, "I don't even know why Shorty's still acting like we together. That baby mine, but she not." The cryptic, cutting comment immediately sent shockwaves through their fanbase. People were left wondering what exactly he meant. Was he denying responsibility, distancing himself emotionally, or just trying to provoke a reaction? That same night, Chrisean fired back with her own powerful message, refusing to stay silent. She posted, "I never wanted to be tied to a man who treats his own son like a paycheck. I'm a mother and a fighter. Don't get it twisted." Her words were a raw declaration of strength and hurt, revealing a deeper pain that many didn't see behind the public drama, the pain of feeling devalued not just as a partner, but as a mother. From there, the situation quickly spiraled out of control. Every post, comment, and video was dissected by fans and critics alike, watching their story unfold like a brutal heavyweight fight. No gloves, no mercy, just relentless blows traded back and forth. The line between personal grievance and public entertainment blurred completely, with both sides using social media as their battleground. Supporters of Chrisean rallied around her, seeing her as a strong woman standing up against neglect and disrespect. Meanwhile, Blueface's fans tried to defend or explain his behavior, fueling even more heated debate. The pressure from outside forces only intensified the volatility between them. What was once private hurt had become a very public war, played out in comments, clips, and viral moments. This cycle revealed more than just a toxic relationship, highlighted how social media can amplify pain and conflict, turning private struggles into public drama. And for Chrisean and Blueface, it seemed that every attempt to find peace or closure was met with another round of chaos, keeping them locked in a cycle that neither seemed able to escape. The moment that truly shattered Chrisean Rock came when rumors erupted that Blueface was engagement ring shopping, something that felt like a final blow after everything they had been through. A video surfaced showing him in a high-end Beverly Hills jewelry store, not alone, but with Instagram model Sasha Dior by his side. The image went viral almost instantly, striking a nerve with fans and devastating Chrisean, especially given the painful truth that Blueface had still not publicly claimed their child. Social media exploded with disbelief, anger, and sympathy, as many questioned how he could move on so quickly and so publicly. For Chrisean, the betrayal cut deep, and her silent yet haunting response a simple black screen with the words, "So, I was just a body, a season." Cool said everything. It was raw heartbreak broadcast to the world. Meanwhile, the drama behind the scenes was just as intense. Despite the chaos, Zeus Network kept the cameras rolling, filming a new spin-off, reportedly titled Chrisean's World, hoping to capitalize on the emotional turmoil, but insiders revealed that production was spiraling out of control. Blueface and Chrisean could barely be near each other without explosive fights breaking out, turning every scene into a battleground. What had started as a reality show was now unraveling into something far darker, where personal pain collided with professional pressure, and the line between entertainment and emotional destruction had completely vanished. Now, with every new leak and every behind-the-scenes whisper, the truth is slowly creeping into public view, promising that the story is far from over, and the fallout may be even more devastating than anyone expected. Blueface allegedly had a hidden lav mic under his hoodie, secretly capturing emotional off-camera moments not meant for producers but for his own use, reportedly to create a YouTube documentary showing only his side of the story. Chrisean had no clue until just days ago, when her stylist overheard Blueface bragging during a break, saying, "I'm about to drop all this *T and make her look dumb. She's been Wilden for years. I got it all on tape." That comment made its way back to Chrisean and flipped a switch. She canceled a press shoot, went completely silent for 12 hours, and then reappeared solo at a red carpet event for a fashion launch in downtown L.A., where Blueface arrived, arm in arm with Sasha Dior. Chrisean came without glam, without a team, ready not for the cameras but for confrontation. As soon as Blueface saw her, he mocked her aloud to Sasha, "Look at her, always crashing places she don't belong." Chrisean locked on him and stormed across the carpet, demanding, "Say it again." Witnesses say Blueface whispered something to Sasha and she laughed, triggering Chrisean to shout, Say it to my face like you do in interviews. Security moved in, but Blueface hijacked the DJ's mic and launched into a brutal rant. I've been done with her. She's toxic, unstable, and using our son for pity. The crowd went silent. He continued, saying she rejected therapy, thrived on chaos, and ended with a shocking line. I should have taken my son the day he was born. At least he'd have peace. Phones came out, IG lives exploded, and the internet collectively gasped, not just at what he said, but at how casually he said it. Chrisean stood still, her face blank, but her eyes full of fire. Chrisean stared Blueface down and calmly said, "You are going to regret that. I have receipts that could destroy you." Her words were not just empty threats. This was a warning with weight. She pulled out her phone and showed him something on the screen. Though the content was blurred to onlookers, it was enough to make Blueface physically step back. Insiders revealed she had a screen recording of private DMIs between Blueface and an ex, not his child's mother, but a woman known in the industry as a behind-the-scenes fixer for male celebrities. Allegedly, the messages exposed conversations about manipulating the custody battle for media attention, staging fake leaks to distract from court delays, and even worse, plotting to spread a false story that Chrisean had been out partying while their baby was sick. She now had hard proof of a smear campaign, and she was ready to fire back. With her voice cracking from emotion and her phone clenched in one hand, Chrisean shouted, "You thought you could humiliate me, and I'd stay silent. I stood by you with nothing. I gave you a family, and you gave me lawyers." The crowd began clapping. Even security looked uneasy. Sasha, visibly shaken, whispered, "I didn't know it was this deep." But Chrisean was far from finished. Through real, raw tears, mascara running, her hands trembling, she let it all out. "You think I wanted to raise this child alone? To be judged by people who never knew my heart? You did this. You declared war." Then, she physically dropped her phone on the floor, turned her back, and walked away, but not before firing one last shot over her shoulder. "You've got 12 hours to apologize, or I upload everything." And just like that, social media caught fire. Within minutes, Twitter was ablaze. Blogs flooded timelines with headlines like "Blueface publicly bashes Chrisean at fashion launch, custody war explodes." Celebrities chimed in. Summer Walker posted, "You cannot break a woman who already lost everything, you just make her stronger." JT from City Girls tweeted, "Publicly shaming the mother of your child. That's the weakest move I've seen." The big question loomed, was she bluffing? But before noon even hit, Chrisean made good on her word. At exactly 6:03 a.m., her Instagram story lit up with a single link. "Y'all want the truth? Here's how it really went down." The link led to a Dropbox folder titled "Blueface, The Real." It contained voice notes, DM screenshots, private texts with multiple women, and even contracts outlining fake custody narratives for press. One voice recording captured Blueface telling his manager, "If she keeps acting up in public, we'll hit the unfit mom angle, just make sure TMZ gets it first." Another showed him offering $2,000 to an influencer to tweet that Chrisean left their child alone to go clubbing. Fans were stunned. This was not drama, was a calculated attack. Pages erupted. Hashtags like #CancelBlueface began trending globally. But the most explosive moment came from a hidden folder in the leaking audio file titled "H Ain't Even Mine." In it, Blueface is heard telling a friend, unaware he is being recorded, "Honestly, bro, I do not even think that baby mine. I only claimed him because it would look bad if I didn't. But she is not getting a dime until I get a test." That clip broke the internet and left even his most loyal fans in silence. The internet went into complete meltdown the moment it became clear that Blueface had only been involved in his son JR's life to maintain his public image and, not out of genuine belief or love. People were stunned. The leaked audio of him questioning the child's paternity sparked headlines within the hour. Blueface exposed. Secret audio confirms he never believed the baby was his, and Chrisean's receipts shatter the internet. Fans and followers watched what began as a messy meltdown transform into a full-blown reputation crisis. Even the Shade Room, known for staying neutral, posted a rare, serious caption, calling this one of the most dangerous downfalls we've seen play out in real time. Around noon, Blueface finally responded on Twitter, writing, "Y'all acting like you never said something out of frustration. That doesn't mean I don't love my kid." But his attempt to walk it back only fueled the outrage. The replies were brutal. "You lied on your own child. This is beyond messy. This is custody court material. And you orchestrated your own collapse. Legal experts weighed in, with Lawyer Bay TV pointing out that the recordings show clear signs of manipulation and defamation that could hand Chrisean a strong edge in court. What had started as public chaos was now unfolding as a potential courtroom victory. That evening, Chrisean finally broke her silence, posting a black and white video holding her baby, eyes red, voice trembling. "I stayed quiet for months. I prayed for peace. But you turned my baby into a pawn. You tried to break me and instead, you made me louder." Her caption sealed it. "You started it, I'm finishing it. See you in court." Social media rallied behind her. The hashtag #StandWithChris, trended all day, while fan art and heartfelt messages poured in, praising her strength. Celebrities followed suit. Summer Walker reposted the video with a message of support. Megan Good called Blueface's behavior weaponized parenthood. And even 50 Cent weighed in, tweeting, "Blueface needs to fire his whole team." That leak did more damage than a diss track. But the most emotional response came from Nick Cannon, who went live and said, "As a father, I can't imagine saying that about any of my kids. That audio broke me. Prayers up for that child." The Breakfast Club aired a full 15-minute breakdown, with Charlemagne declaring, "This isn't love. This is psychological warfare, and Blueface lost." The backlash did not stop at fans and bloggers. Brands began backing out. A headphone sponsorship was paused, 2 podcasts' tour dates were dropped, and a liquor brand collaboration was cancelled outright. Zeus Network quietly removed Blueface from 2 of their promo banners with no statement, just silence. But fans noticed. The message Chrisean sent was undeniably powerful, not because of lengthy explanations or dramatic rants, but because her evidence had already spoken volumes on its own. Without saying much, she let the truth do the talking, and the impact was felt far and wide. Fans immediately flooded her social media comments with overwhelming support, expressing admiration for her strength and resilience. Many wrote messages like, "Your son will grow up knowing his mother never backed down," recognizing the fight she was putting up not only for herself but for her child's future. The public's sympathy and encouragement soon evolved into more concrete actions. Online petitions began gaining traction, with supporters urging the courts to grant Chrisean full custody of their son, believing she was the more responsible and devoted parent. Additionally, fans called on Zeus Network, the platform that had broadcast so much of their drama, to sever ties with Blueface, holding him accountable for his behavior both publicly and privately. One particular TikTok therapist gained viral attention for using clips of Blueface himself to explain the telltale signs of co-parenting with a narcissist. This expert analysis helped many viewers understand the complexities and emotional toll of their situation from a psychological perspective, validating Chrisean's claims and shining a harsh light on Blueface's conduct. The public sentiment was clear. Chrisean had emerged victorious in this highly publicized battle. Blueface was no longer just a man losing a partner. He was losing his legacy, his reputation, and the goodwill he once had among fans and peers. The narrative had shifted dramatically in her favor, painting him as the neglectful, self-centered figure who failed to stand up for his own child. Yet, just when it seemed like the story might start to settle and the dust begin to clear, a new, unexpected voice broke the silenced Blueface's own mother. She had remained largely quiet through the ongoing drama, watching from the sidelines, as the feud played out in the court of public opinion. Now, her sudden entry into the conversation added a new layer of complexity. Her perspective carried weight, not only because she was family but because her words could influence how both sides were perceived. Would she defend her son, offering a sympathetic explanation? Or would she validate Chrisean's claims, deepening Blueface's troubles? Her involvement hinted that the saga was far from over, and that the fallout might reach even deeper than anyone had anticipated. As this new chapter unfolded, it became clear that the family drama extended beyond just 2 people. It involved a network of relationships and loyalties that would continue to play out in the spotlight. The public remained glued to every update, knowing that in a story this tangled, the next revelation could change everything once again. Blueface's mother, Carissa Saffold, went live and held nothing back, throwing her son under the spotlight with shocking claims that had fans glued to their screens. She boldly said, "Blueface has been deceptive since childhood," accusing him of orchestrating a smear campaign against Chrisean, and even asking her to help label Chrisean as an unfit mother, something she flatly refused. She revealed that he forged her signature to access money meant for his baby, which she only discovered when contacted by a lawyer, sparking whispers of potential fraud charges. The bombshells did not stop there. As fans reacted in disbelief, Carissa made it clear, if Blueface is going down, she is not going with him. Not long after, Chrisean responded with a single powerful tweet, "God, don't play about me," that struck deeper than any rant could. Then came another twist. An anonymous voice recording leaked on Reddit, reportedly from someone close to Blueface, alleging he paid someone to follow Chrisean out of fear she would move on or land a big opportunity. Without him, this was no longer just about clout, it smelled like obsession and control. Legal teams got involved, subpoenas were issued, and Chrisean prepared to fight back by filing for full custody and a restraining order. Meanwhile, Blueface, once known for being loud and brash, online went completely silent. But the real turning point came when Chrisean appeared live, holding a thick manila envelope. She looked into the camera and said only, "See you in court, Jonathin," signaling that the final blow might come from the courtroom. With reputations shattered and family lines torn apart, the spotlight now shifts to one innocent victim in this chaos, the baby, caught in a war between two broken parents. The real question is not who went live or who clapped back, it is what happens to that child. Should Chrisean get full custody? Was Blueface manipulating the truth all along? And is Carissa finally standing for what is right, or just saving herself? From the fallout, let us know in the comments. This drama is far from over, and if Chrisean's hint about courtroom recordings is true, the internet is about to explode. Stay tuned.